right next to you.
Yes.
When you were crying, I was right there.
That's
wiping
right.
your tears. I was
Jesus.
always right
Always.
there.
Always.
Right there.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important that we don't allow such. That's very true. You know, even as you shared that, two things came to mind. One is dealing with certain situations throughout life. And I could remember talking to the Lord and so many times, you know, we have that internal conversation with God. And I can remember him telling me, well, when you were down there, I was right there with you.
Yes.
When you were sitting right there, I was sitting right next to you.
Yes.
When you were crying, I was right there.
That's
wiping
right.
your tears. I was always right there.
Always.
Right there.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important that we don't allow situations to make us bitter.
That's right.
But just allow it to just flourish right out.
Yes.
Allow that forgiveness to overwhelm us.
Yes.
To the point that it's like water off a duck's back.
That's right.
It doesn't even phase the character.
That's right.
That I was created to be.
That's right.
The dignity that I have, the who lives in me, it doesn't affect any of that.
It doesn't.
It just makes me love you because apparently there's something that needs to be loved out of you.
That's right. That's right. Isn't that's, I couldn't say that no better than what you just shared. And it just made me think, you know, this is why we can love people unconditionally without judgment. Even though we may find a sister in sin, I may not like the sin, but I surely love you. And because I love you, you know, I don't have to embrace that sin. I can walk you through it to deliver you from it. I don't have to reject you and push you to the side and just say it's done. No, because I think about the gracious and the mercies of God, right? And even in the book of Peter, he says that he shows no favorites. And I thank God for that. He has no favorites. And we all can come and broken. And we can come.
It is what it is.
It is. Right? You come as you are. And he can take you just there and heal those broken places in your life. No favorites.
Oh, yes.
No favorites. And so this is why we can be seasoned sisters to younger sisters and say, baby, you know, it's all right. I'm not looking at where you are. I'm looking at who you are, who God called you to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me touch on this. Wellness. The wellness coach. This is the second thing that I heard when you were talking about your testimony, is that you went back in the house and your grandmother was crying and was giving you butterscotch candy. Now, I read this book and I can't remember her name, but it was talking about emotional eating. And so many times when we deal with things, we have our own coping mechanisms.
That's the truth.
But many times it is snacking on something.
Right.
And so I sometimes look at weight. It's certainly here recently things being revealed. I look at weight as the weight on you, but the weight on you is reflective of the weight that you're still carrying on spiritually.
That's right.
And so as a wellness coach, tell me the process you take people through to get over what's holding them.
You know, it is a process, but it's a simple process. One of the first things I tell them, I have to start, which I will be doing, I'm just going to say this, a touring this summer called The Incredible You. I have to get them to look at themselves first and realize how beautiful they are already. Even in the state that they're in, that's number one, is to realize that you are incredible, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you're kind. All of those affirmations, I need them to rehearse to themselves, and even loving them, hugging them. And by the way, I tell you this: do you realize that on an average, a person should have at least 4 hugs a day to survive, 8 hugs to just maintain? Right. And see, we don't often know to do that. And this is why babies have to be held. You know, they need to be touched. We have to be touched. We need to be held. At least 4 hugs a day. That's just part of survival. Not that you don't need to do other things, but that's just one of those things you need just to feel accepted, to feel loved, and to hug. And so I tell them this. I said, start with you. When was the last time you hugged you? And sometimes people are like, hug me? That's just the start right there. Start hugging you. When you get up in the morning, affirm you. Say, I am beautiful, I am kind, I'm anointed, I am a person of God. You're right. And just start speaking. That's the first thing, because you've been beaten up already by thoughts and emotions and others, right? You've been criticized. Maybe you even criticized yourself. So that's the first thing. That's the first part of the process, is start loving you. You got to love you. The second is you got to detox. Because toxins that's built up inside your system cause all other issues.
Absolutely.
Right? There's so much toxin. So you got to flush your system out. And I tell people to flush by drinking plenty of water and whatever detox that you use, but you got to detox. And then you have to detox some of those emotion events. Take a sabbatical. Get in a place with God where you can hear God totally and completely. You know, so there's 2 things, naturally and spiritually, you need a detox. And so that's the first thing. So 1, you got to learn and love you. 2, you got to detox and to let go that weight. And 3rd, let's get to the root of it.
Yes.
Let's get to the root. Let's really be transparent. What is really disturbing you? Right? And once we can get there, now we can proceed. But those first 3 steps are the most important steps, because you can't start and stay on this journey if you don't start loving you and realize why you are doing this journey. You got to, that has to start first. Loving you first, taking that sabbatical, getting in a place with God, getting and hearing His voice, know what your purpose and the call is on your life, and activate it.
Absolutely.
That's very important, right? And then 3, detox all that other foolishness. And sometimes that means you got to get rid of some friends that are negative, right? Get rid of some of that junk in the cabinets.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right? And then you, how bad do you want it? And if
dedication.
You want, come on. And so those are very vital. So to begin that wellness journey starts with those 3. When you graduate from those 3, now we can move forward.
Because, so what I hear is detoxing is not just you detoxing your physical body, but as well as your thought patterns, your mind.
It brings balance. It brings balance. You got to have some balance. If not, sometimes people can get too spiritual. They know earthly good. Remember, there's a term. You just can't relate to nobody. You're so holy. You know, you're so above. Right? No, you got to be a balance. You know, and so even in the natural sense of things, you got to flush out some of those things that are causing you to have inflammation. Maybe the natural part, those headaches, perhaps those different arthritis can happen because you have so much toxins and built up. I mean, toxins can cause so many issues in the human body. So I encourage people, you got to detox that. And you really need to do that weekly. Weekly, you should be detoxing. Wow. You should, because you're in the air and the atmosphere, and all the things in the atmosphere just clinging to you, if you know what I mean. So you want to, and when I say detox, water and lemon, just drink plenty of water. Eat vegetables, green vegetables. It's something as simple as that. I'm not talking about medicating in the sense, although some might need to, but naturally. Detox and reflect and rest.
Right.
Get enough sleep. And breathe and enjoy life, and don't allow stress and issues to press you, because that's where high blood pressure come in, strokes and heart attacks come in. And so I want to encourage many, just detox and relax, you know. And so those are the 3 most important things on a journey to wellness.
So tell me, what does the water and lemon do? Because I hear that a whole lot, but I never knew what exactly it did.
It's just a cleaning agent.
Okay.
It is. I think of it like this: is if you had a pipe that was clogged, and you need something to go in to declog that. That's what that would do.
Okay.
And so you eat plenty of vegetables and drink the lemon. I tell people you can use cucumbers even. I personally, I love to use Bragg's vinegar.
In the water?
I do. I put.
Wow.
Sometimes I just drink 2 tablespoons of Bragg's vinegar, and it does my body good. And matter of fact, it helps
your body good.
It does. And it helps your immune system, right? It helps your complexion. And I tell you, I had a repair guy to come to the house. Which I never heard this before, because he was fixing my lock on my door. It was broken, and at the end he had to take a payment, and he said, I have to have ID, and which was the first time, like, you're at my house, you need ID. Okay, but I gave him my ID, and he says, this don't look like you. I said, but it is me. That's the old me. Oh, but wow. Through life changing and changes, this is the new me, the refreshed me, the restored me, the reclaimed me, the better version of me. I'm a woman who's turning 50 this year, so I really have to
Sonya.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I have to take care of me, right? I feel good about me. So,
what was the turning point? What was the turning point where you said, I'm going for the better version. Yeah. I'm going for this option here.
Ooh, that's a great question. Let me tell you, sadly, because in 2015, 2 days before Christmas, my husband passed away. Oh. Yeah, he did. And unexpectedly. And he had passed away with a stroke and a heart attack. I learned right then, life is of the essence. It's important, you know. And when I look back at his things, and I would share with people sometimes, he left things still in place. He was going to school. He still had his tote bag. He had his laptop. Everything was still the way he left it. He didn't know. We didn't know. You know, we didn't plan for this. And so going through that experience, I knew then life got to change for me. Life is important. Right? To live and live well. You may not have everything that you need, but you take what you got and make it good. Right? And so that's why I've decided, because we used to talk about how we was going to live until we were about 100 years old together. And here I got to face 50 without them. Okay? But it is okay. You know, I'm learning to live and enjoy life and to love me.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? I have to learn to be single. I didn't know what that's like before. I had to readjust. I have 2 daughters, one that's 22 and another that is 16 going on 17. I applaud any single mom, right? And those are new things I had to take on. But I had to teach them how to become women that may not dwell in sorrow. Right, and hopelessness. Wow. So I had to be an example and teach them how to live and live well and live joyously, to live with purpose. Because if you don't, you'll sit somewhere with the shades pulled down and in a dark room going nuts. I refuse to do that. So my desire is to embrace life. Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah,
so
that was
beautiful.
My change intent.
Yeah. That would certainly shock you and give you a full new meaning of life, because it's not, you know, every day is not granted to everyone.
No.
But taking the days, and you said it already so eloquently, we are to live it on purpose.
Live it on purpose.
Live it on
one
purpose.
day at a time. What really, I had never understood that piece until after my husband passed. You got to live one day at a time. Although we can plan and set goals for future, that's for me right now, it's too much. I don't even want to think that far in advance. I get it and I understand the concept of it, but for me right now, 2 days is too much.
Right.
I just got to focus for the moment right here and make the best of it. And that's for me.
Right.
That's how I live. And I am determined to live with joy.
Right.
To command the day to be a day of joy, of peace.
Yes.
Right? Not being.
Go back to that. You command the day.
I do.
To be a day of joy and peace. Right. You know, I like to do the same thing. And so on the side of my refrigerator, I wrote before, look out world, the hazes are up. And so, and so, you know, some may look at that like, okay, what's going on? But to me, it's an option. Didn't God say, and I don't mean to take the scripture out of context, but the thing that rings in my mind is choose this day who you going to serve. Okay, so either you're going to have life or death, and the option to me to be depressed or hopeless is death to me. So life is full of joy.
It is.
And looking for God's grace and mercy and wonder and miracles. That right there is living to me.
It is living.
And so even after that dramatic and trauma state, you chose that, and it hasn't been that long at all.
No, it haven't been that long. And in fact, oftentimes people will ask me the question, how do you do it? Why? Again, I have to tell them, even before my husband passed, I had a relationship with the Lord. And he had been grooming me and loving on me. So when my husband passed, God reminded me, look, I'm your maker, I'm your husband. You know, you're not by yourself. I got you. I'm with you.
Absolutely.
And so he's continuously to hold my hand. And I'll never forget, in the month of January, because my husband passed the last part of December, but in January, towards the end of the month, I recall the Lord saying to me, okay, enough mourning and sorrow. Get up. You got work to do.
Wow.
You got work to do.
Wow.
And guess what I did? I got up and started working. I started working. I was not reflecting on this and that and all and woe. No. I grabbed a hold of that joy and peace of God, and I started moving forward and being an ambassador for Christ. I had to remember my call.
Wow.
And my call is to deliver hope.
Wow.
And I cannot deliver hope when I'm in a hopeless state and cannot move and function,
yes.
right? And so I, out of obedience, again, and that's that word, I had a choice.
Yes.
I could have said, no, I don't feel like it. No. I understood. When God called you to do something, you just get up and
you best to do it.
I'm at that age of my life, I understand that now, that how important that is. And so ever since that day, in the January, that's how I live.
Wow.
I live like I'm in love with God, you know? And people will ask me often, what in the world are you doing? You look like you're glowing. Well, that's what happens when you walk with God. You have no other option, you know? And he's your husband. I'm going to tell you, he's a good husband. He takes care of you. You
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
he does. And so that's how I live, one day at a time.
One day at a time. You know, two things came to mind, or one thing came to mind for those two of the things you stated, is that you have to be a woman of strength to go against the odds. Because for someone who has experienced that set of, some people may look at it as a setback, but that experience will cause many to kind of fold up and just retreat back, or just, okay, I'm going to church on Sunday and Bible study, but I'm not going to, this is as much as I can do, and grab on to a depressed state as if the Lord gave you that depressed state as a gift when he did not.
That's right.
So you had to go against the odds of what someone is giving you an excuse to think or to act or behave, and say, this is not what he died for me to have.
That's right.
But this is what I'm choosing. Could you just take a moment just to encourage someone else who may be experiencing something, the loss of a spouse. You know, no one goes into marriage thinking that something is going to happen to it. Just like you, my husband and I talk about the same thing. No, we're going to die like the Titanic, and we're not the Titanic, the Notebook, and we're going to hand in hand. But what you stated is that was my goal. That was my purpose. That was our purpose together. But something happened along the way. But even in that, I didn't lose my hope.
I did not lose my hope. And I would say to them too, I would say to that individual, like with my husband, I had to release him. I had to let him go. My perception on death sometimes is different than most, and God have allowed me to see it this way. My husband was a praying man, first of all, and I know that he's with the Lord, and I'm okay with that. He's in a place that we all got to get to at some point, right? I'm okay with that, but I also understand I have work still to do here. And I like to tell any woman or man that might have lost their spouse, be encouraged. Have some hope today that God is good. And that God he have his hand on you, and he's working some things out in your favor. You're just going to have to trust and believe and stand on the word that says God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or think. And walk with God with the heart and the faith to know that nothing's impossible. And understand this is your season and this is your time. This is the time where God is getting ready to reveal himself to you. And you walk by faith and believe just in that. It is okay. Let go of the past and begin to press your way through. Just take one day at a time. It's okay. It's all right. And know, most importantly, that God loves you. He has not forgotten you. He has not forsaken you. But that God is carrying you, even when you don't understand it, 3 words: God got this.
Amen. Amen. He certainly does.
Yeah.
He certainly does. So I want you to just share with others how they can get your book, when it's available.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the new revised book is coming out by the end of this month. You can find it on Facebook, on my Facebook, which is Sonya Hardy-Austin, and feel free to friend me, and I will advertise it there. But also the publishing company will advertise it on YouTube, and they will also send that out to Barnes & Noble as well, and different other companies. And so that will be coming out soon as well. Okay.
I just know we have so much more we can look forward to with Miss Sonya Austin. It is certainly a pleasure to have you on the show. Certainly a pleasure. Just so much fullness of wealth and golden nuggets and just life application to know that someone can go through something so horrific and still look like this. Still have that power and that fervency, that passion and love for God.
Thank you for that.
And that right there is living on purpose. It's not so much of what we obtain or what we attain or what God is allowing us to do, because so many times we look at the creation instead of the creator who allowed us to accomplish it. But to live life on purpose is having that balance and living the life for God. So guys, I hope that you guys are inspired and encouraged like I am. And I told you that this was going to be an awesome conversation with Miss Sonya Austin. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you change your mind, you can change your life. Thank you for tuning into Alabaster's Box with Tiffany Hayes, where we are inspiring and enriching thoughts.
Alabaster Box was one of the most amazing experiences. The atmosphere is so charged, it's so anointed, and I've been so blessed just to have a conversation and just to talk about God's plan in my life that might even be able to inspire others. So I so love this, and so I'm asking everyone out there, if you would like it, comment, and because this right here is a blessing. It's a blessing. And so thank you for allowing me to be part of your team of this time of Alabaster Box. Tiffany, this is amazing. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Thank you for viewing us. So do us a favor, click that big red button down there that says subscribe. When you subscribe, it's totally free to you. Not only is it totally free, but you'll get a notification each Monday when we post new interviews, new insight, and new information. We hope you are enjoying what you're viewing thus far. Please tell your friends about us, tell your family members, your church members. Hey, find a stranger in the street, tell them about it too. We want to take this message to the world. Have a good day, and thank you for watching Alabaster's Box.